Good morning, good evening, good night. For y'all, it's probably 5 o'clock in the afternoon. For me, it's probably, no, I know it's like 6:30 in the morning because I decided to reshoot everything. But I'm Virginia J, the host of the Parlay Bull Podcast, and today's topic is something that I probably should have did for episode 1, but like all great things, hindsight is 2020. We're going to talk about what do I mean when I say I'm a leisure historian, what is black leisure, and what is the theme of this podcast. Leisure can be defined in a million different ways, and it can also be defined by what it's not. So, leisure can be defined as essentially what people do in their off time. When people are not at work, when people are not busy raising families, when people are not engage with their wives or husbands or significant others, what people do when it's just them and they find a way to relax. That's one of the more common definitions. Definitions vary from historian to historian and sociologist to sociologist. Thorstein Veblen, I hope I'm saying his name right, he's considered the father of modern leisure history, and his work, The Theory of the Leisure Class, an Economic Study of Institutions, he proposes that the upper class engages in leisure to show that they don't have to be Now really, buddy? Why would you do that? He proposes that leisure for the upper class is used to display that they don't have to engage in the means of production. You see, Thorstein Veblen was a sociologist that came about in the era of Karl Marx, when the Marxist movement or communism was first hitting the scene and anti-capitalist ideologies were starting to form in the late 1800s. So Thorstein Veblen is of the mind that leisure is a tool for the upper class to essentially just flex on the lower class, right? But for the most part, a lot of leisure history, it usually focuses on the white Eurocentric perspective of history. What do I do? Well, what Virginia J does, he is, why am I talking about myself in the third person? What I do is focus on black leisure history, which in context to America, white America specifically, is often used to display survival, resistance, cultural celebration. I prefer the cultural celebration avenue because not everything black is always inherently about resistance and survival. We're more than just fight back, fight back, fight back. We are a celebratory people. We are a complex and multi-layered group of individuals, especially when forming the black identity. So black leisure and luxury takes the form of juke joints, hip hop, trail rides, racing, cars, all these other things. But for black leisure history, the history of that, things like when building plantations and stealing time from the slave master and getting a time to yourself in a more modern context. Black leisure comes from the necessity of black bodies working hard jobs and being the labor source for white America, needing a way to relax, right? So when you consider back then, black Americans were the ones building the parks, they were the ones building the cities, they were the ones building train stations, trains, and that's not ignoring the context of other social groups. Just for the sake of this video, just please, because I know someone's gonna argue with me. Black leisure comes out of black bodies and black labor being used to prop up white luxury and white spaces, right? So black people in the 30s, 40s, 50s do things like begin the black travel movement, where travel becomes something black people adore. They start with buying their own cars because it grants them a sense of autonomy. It grants them the ability to not rely on public transportation, and black people start building their own resorts, specifically like golf resorts, black movie theaters, and start creating those spaces that a lot of people say, hey, when we didn't have integration, we did a lot of things for ourselves. That's directly connected to black leisure, at least I would argue. As a leisure historian and the point of the Parlay Bull Podcast, I want to explore those spaces, particularly because a lot of us live that history. We live in those spaces and don't realize it. Especially people who, like a lot of my friends and a lot of people on the internet, we love to travel. That's the black travel movement. in effect, that's lived history, actually. And in some aspects, leisure history I would consider an offshoot of public history. I need y'all to like, comment, subscribe, engage with your boy, and kind of tell me what things y'all would like to see first. Otherwise, I'm going to just roll on and roll on and roll on and roll on and roll on. Get a copy of my poetry book. Oh, had it upside down. 24 Summers from www.cultureandcommentary.com. I'm so sorry for the selfish plug. Podcast hats coming soon. Until then, and hopefully I get more sleep because no days off. I'm Virginia J, the host of the Parlay Bull Podcast, the only podcast to do anything for a reshoot. Peace.